Hello everyone, and welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. And it's my monthly portfolio update on my road to £1 million. Let's go. So the goal is £1 million by 2060 and the stretch target by 2050. So I'm doing long, slow and steady, long-term investing. That's what I'm aiming for. And I'm going for minimum return 6.66% a year for the reasons you can see there. But the stretch target there is 10%, which I think is achievable. And the minimum amount going in is going to be £300 a month. And the way I've structured the portfolio at the moment is we've got 2/3 of the money in individual companies, and that's up by 5 percentage points since last time. And the other major change is the index trackers numbers nudged down to 18%. And that's because I've been selling off a little bit of my UK index holdings where I was being a little bit overweight, which you'll see from my kind of detailed portfolio reviews. And what I'll be posting towards the end of this week is 3 videos. So you'll be able to see the detail behind all of these holdings from those 3 videos towards the end of the week. So keep an eye out for them. In terms of the stocks I got in the portfolio, about a third of them are fast growers. I think that's where the likely multi-baggers in Peter Lynch parlance is going to happen from. You can see slow growth stalwarts, probably about 50% of the portfolio there, half the money. So that's probably going to be a bit more steady, and some nice dividends chipped in there. And then you can see perhaps the more volatile price ones, along with the fast growers there, with the cyclicals and the asset plays, the turnarounds, so that the portfolio is relatively neatly, not necessarily by design, but about 50-50 between safer and steadier dividends paying companies in your slow growers and stalwarts, and then around about half in the kind of more price volatile but higher upside, potentially higher risk companies. So let's have a look at the numbers. So at the end of June, so the last full month that we looked at was June, and I was just over 38,000 at that point, well ahead of the target, which is fantastic. And there was an estimated year-end value of about 40,000, so looking very good indeed. And where we're at now is we're still at 38,000, so it's been an interesting month in terms of I've actually added in a lot more money than normal month. My usual 300 in, I actually then got a £1,000 tax rebate from the tax man, which is very unusual. So that's gone in along with another £50 that I would have put in next month, but I've just brought that forward. So there's an extra £1,050 that's gone in. Well, actually, the investment performance in the calendar month of July is actually 1,440 down. Within the realms of normal market fluctuation, there are some stocks, particular Chinese stocks, and some other companies such as Boohoo, where the market prices have dropped, and that's enabled me to average in. So I'll leave a link at the end for a couple of videos that I've done where I've described the companies that I average into. And that's why that extra money was put in order to take advantage of the lower market prices to lower my average cost base, and therefore reduce my risk and also increase my potential returns. So yeah, effectively stationary in the current value. And what that means is the estimated year-end value has dropped slightly, and we're now at 39.5. Still comfortably ahead of target, and yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. Just to let you into the largest individual company holdings, Bank OZK is number 1 again, and that has dropped 5 percentage points of total return, but still 57% compound annual growth rate, which is great, particularly for the largest stock holding in the portfolio. Aviva and Unum Group have switched positions, but both of those you can see they're down 5 or 6 points. So we're looking at the previous page where we saw the negative performance in July, and actually a lot of that is also due to the fact that the 3 largest stock holdings are all down several percentage points. And these are all companies that I have a lot of belief in. They all pay decent dividends as well, and I'm not worried by that. What's happened in the last month? It's just normal market movements. Now we do have 2 new entries here. You may remember, for example, K3 Capital was in the top 5. That's had a pretty bad month or so. So that's another reason why the return this month's down. We've now got Corsair and Boohoo, where I've averaged into both of those positions, reducing my average cost. So they are stocks that I have purchased recently. And Corsair actually by the time I post this video, will have released their earnings. So it'd be really interesting to see the impact that that has and whether they're doing as well as I think they will. And Boohoo I've covered in a recent video, so that will be linked at the end if you want to hear a bit more about why I have purchased more of there. You can see on the CAGR there on the right that many of these holdings are held for under a year, so it's relatively new portfolio. So these are the top 5 stock holdings. Biggest movers, so the top row there are the largest returns in terms of individual stock holdings. You can see the coal company there, Alpha, well over 200%, so that's my first 200% club member. Delighted with that, and I still think that's got a lot more upside, particularly if the price of coal keeps going up. Unilever, that has dropped, that was nearing 100% a month ago, and that has dropped back. Inmo just continues to smash it completely. Really great performance. On the negative side, so the Planet 13, yeah, that's I guess you'd call that a penny stock. So I'm expecting fluctuation. Ultrasource has already been picking up today, the start of August, and that's because the federal pause on foreclosures in America has now expired and isn't being renewed. So they'll be able to conduct their primary business. I'm expecting this one to absolutely fly in the next 12 months. And Greatland Gold, as has consistently been recently, is the worst performer. And there we have it. So that is the update for this month. On track for the challenge. Should be about 4% of the way there by the end of the year, which sounds like a long way to go, but compounding will accelerate that over time. And look forward to seeing you on the next one.